I am an addict. I don't do drugs, and I don't really drink. I don't think I have any other vices to speak of. But I have one major problem, which is tweezers. Tweezers are a big part of a big, addiction for me. So I'm going to go to Japan next week, and my favorite tweezer shop is in Japan. And I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on tweezers at this place, and I need to stop. I need to have like some kind of intervention, and I need to be stopped from like buying more tweezers. So in preparation from this, I thought I'd do a video about the tweezers that I have and what's so great about them, and then hopefully I'll like look at the other tweezers and I'll think to myself, I have some pretty great tweezers already, so I don't need more tweezers, and I have backups for most of these tweezers as well. So I don't maybe I just need this one tweezer though that maybe I should get. Anyway, I wanted to do a video on the tweezers. So I thought I'd just quickly go over the tweezers I have. So these are the two that I really use day to day, and I use tweezers for SMD rework mostly. There's some stuff like positioning the AFM tips and other lab stuff I use tweezers for, but for the most part it's SMD rework, and those are the ones that get nasty and fluxy and I use every day. So I use basically two tweezers for that. One of them is this SSTNF Rubis. This is a titanium tweezer. It's good for rework up to 800 degrees C. The problem with steel and other tweezers is that they will deform under temperature, apparently anyway. So you may find that you get through like the cheap $1, $2 tweezers quite quickly for that reason. But the titanium ones are really sharp tips, and they don't deform. The other one I like to use, and I particularly like to use these like on a ground plane, or when I'm putting more heat into the system, or if I'm doing something live, I guess. I use these ceramic tip tweezers, and they're really nice. These have a huge tip, but they are for bigger components. They're fine, and they don't conduct heat. So with the titanium tweezers and any other metal tweezers, you're sucking heat out of the system with your tweezers. With the ceramic tips, you don't suck as much heat out, and they're really good for that. I do have some other ceramic tipped tweezers which have a much finer point, but the problem is they're always quite bulky because ceramic is kind of brittle. So you don't want really fine tipped ceramic tweezers because they'll just break really easily. So these are fine, and the tips are kind of repositionable. So if anything bends, you can put them back. So let's have a look at some of them under the microscope. So I want to show like these are just terrible. These are the tweezers you quite often get on eBay, and they're awful. Like no one should buy these tweezers. They're like they basically have no spring on them. They're heavy, they're nasty. They've got really blunt tips, as we'll see under the microscope, and they're awful. If you go to Shenzhen or if you search around on eBay, you will find much better tweezers for a similar price range. These are branded as Vertis, Rhino. Oh no, these are Rhino or Rhino. Switzerland standard SW11s. I find talking about the brands for the Chinese stuff is useless because you get the same brand and it's completely different. But basically they're thin, they have a lot of nice spring to them, they're quite light, and they're a clone basically of the Idealtech tweezers, and Idealtech make really nice tweezers too. So I have some other, these are Idealtech actually, the ceramic ones are Idealtech. And they make a very similar tweezer to this. You'll see them called SW11 or SSJP, and they're really nice. Rubis, there's no kind of clone, direct titanium tweezers that I've seen coming out of China. Rubis actually make a lot of stuff for the hairstyling industry. So this is another industry that uses a lot of tweezers. So you'll find a lot of, like on the Rubis site, you'll see that they're branded for like cosmetic products. So there we go. These are also Rubis. They have a slightly thicker body, and I don't like using these so much now. They're also titanium, and they have holes taken out of it to make them a bit lighter, and they look cool. But yeah, they're really nice pair of tweezers. You know, these tweezers are not cheap. I mean, if you're used to spending like a couple of dollars on a pair of tweezers, I think these are about $50. I think these are similar, and I think these were $60, $70. So yeah, they're not cheap. I don't know whether they're worth it really. I think I think these actually would be fine. The SW11s, if you can find the good Chinese tweezers, they're just as good. And I think they're a bit more expensive. They're like $5, but they're a little bit harder to find. So I thought, okay, then let's just have a look at them under the rework microscope. So these are the really, okay. So these are the ones I said were terrible. So those are the cheap ones, completely no-name brand. Don't know where I got them. I think I got them in some kit, probably an iPhone kit. And then above that, these are the Rubis titanium ones, and they are a little bit mashed because I do bad things with them. I think I may have even dropped this on the floor. And the thing is, the titanium ones are so sharp. When I drop them on a wooden floor, they stick into the floor. So you drop them and they'll just go straight down, and you'll find them, they're sticking out of the floor because they've actually cut into the floor. So they're pretty awesome like that. They're sharp. And this is a newer pair, so you can see that these are a bit sharper. But you can see it's just a bit sharper, and the aspect ratio is a bit better, so they're nicer for getting in. And I just find them nicer to use. I think having nice tools is important, I think it helps you enjoy doing the rework, so I think it's important. That's what I tell myself when I'm going into the tweezer shop anyway. And these are the ceramic tipped tweezers, and again you can see they're all kind of, it's not very clear perhaps, but you can see they're all like massively fluxy and nasty. It doesn't really matter because they're quite big anyway, and you can clean these up in some IPA, and I should clean all these things up in some IPA, but yeah, they're fine. So that's those are the main tweezers. I also have like these inverted ones. I quite like having a couple of these around for clamping things, for work holding and stuff. So they're really good. But yeah, I think probably what's going to end up happening is I'm going to buy a backup pair of the titanium tweezers when I go into the tweezer shop, or maybe some angled tweezers. I keep thinking I need more angled tweezers for getting into things, although I never encounter that problem, but I feel like I need more tweezers. So yeah, so wish me luck. Thanks very much for watching.